Hello! In update 3, horses and other animals have become tameable, and that gave me the idea to build a horse racing track here in my creative world, complete with jumps and all kinds of other cool obstacles. Also, I've got some wonderful news to share. I'm now a part of the Hytale Support Creator Program, and I have a creator code. So if you like my videos and they've inspired you to purchase Hytale, you can use Farron's Tale at checkout. The code won't change the price of the game for you, but it will give me a small percentage of the sale, so it's a way to support me and the channel to keep making more Hytale videos in the future. And I want to say a massive thanks to Hytale for giving me the code. This project is going to be pretty big, so let's get started. An interesting racetrack needs an interesting location, so I'm out here in my world, and if we look at the map, this is the heart-shaped lake with the Sky Lodge in it. So the castle and the arena are just over here, and over onto the right of my map area for this zone 1 and this desert, I'm going to build the racetrack in this vicinity here. So I've got a lot of space to play with, and we can get the racetrack to go between the zones for some really nice different visuals. One thing I'm going to need to do early on is I'm going to need to test this thing. I'm going to need to run a horse around it and see how long it takes. I'd like to aim for a lap time that takes about 2 minutes. There are 2 decisions I need to make before I can get started building the racetrack, and the first of those decisions is where I'm going to put the start and finish line. And I think this spot here is going to make a nice area for that. We've got some structures already in the world, and then we've got this nice area where I can imagine a bridge going across the water, and then it leads nicely into the sandy desert area over there. The second decision that I need to make is what blocks am I going to use to make the main racetrack path? So the thing that you actually run along with your horse. It's going to be very important that this looks really cool and has a nice mixture of blocks in it and is very easy to distinguish from the environment around it so you don't ever get lost. It's time for time lapses now, and I think we'll go in and I'll show some time lapses of me laying out and mapping the track. In those clips, I've just marked out the racetrack, and now I have to give it a run with a horse to check that it's the right length. And if it's not the right length, then we need to go and add loads more to it, or maybe take some away from it. So let's do a quick run of the lap, and I'll speed this up so you don't have to see it because we don't want to spoil everything too early on. And then we'll come back and I'll tell you the lap time. So my lap came out at 2 minutes and 21 seconds, which I think is a good length. It's a 20-second longer than my 2 minutes that I wanted, but I can live with that. Now I can move on to all of the decoration and making the track awesome. So all I've really done is drawn the line where it will be, but every single section of the track will have to have something interesting, and there have to be obstacles and jumps and all kinds of things for the horse to do so that it's not just running around, because that would be a little bit boring. We're going to make this an interactive track where you're going to have to do loads of jumping, and you're going to have to think a little bit, and there's going to be loads of cool scenery and obstacles. So let's start working on this first area right here, which will be the starting line, and I think it needs a load of extra detail to make it a truly epic start and end to the race. Let's talk the first quarter of the track now, and you'll have seen in those time lapses I built a start and finish line, and I've got some path leading over here to a stone bridge, and then we built this curvy area surrounded by small cliffs on either side, and we've got a couple of jumps, a couple of holes to avoid that I've just added in, and then we've got another jump, and then we've got some hurdles. So the first hurdle is kind of like a tree roots hurdle, and then we've got a couple of medieval ruined stone walls over here. As we progress to the next section, we have this kind of slalom area where you go back on yourself and you have to do jumps. Although this last one is far too long to actually jump, and I've got something planned for this that will be a bit more tactical than just trying to jump the whole thing. You'll have to do something a little bit clever here. So can't wait to show you that soon. One thing I should say is that the soil pathway here is not going to be the final track. I still haven't decided on the exact blocks I want, so I really can't make my mind up. So I'm going to leave that to future me as a future me problem, and I can decide in the future what blocks will make it up. For now, I'm leaving everything as soil pathway, because then it will be easy to just texture that later on. Before making this project, Lorelei and I tested a load of stuff about horses. So I want to share with you some numbers about like how high horses can jump and how long they can jump while I show the next few time lapses. When you're riding a horse, you can jump over 3 solid blocks in height. You can jump over 3 blocks with a fence on it or a wall on it, but you can't jump over 4 blocks. Water does slow the horse, but ice doesn't work on a horse. It doesn't slide on ice, so unfortunately can't use that in a race at this point. But I'd love to see that in the future maybe. As for long jumping, the horse can jump 7 blocks when not sprinting. Maybe 8 if you get the timing right, although we never really got to be able to do that, so we're not sure. So 7 is definitely possible. When it comes to long jumping while sprinting, you can do 11 blocks quite easily, and 12 is possible but really difficult. You have to min-max the time that you jump, and if you jump at the exact right time, you can make 12 blocks. That's why we think 8 might be possible with the normal jumping as well. That means that in this racetrack, we can have long jumping, hurdles to jump over. I've even got plans to do things like stepping stones and a bit of tight roping as well. I just thought those would be some useful bits of information for you. If you're building anything to do with horses, then at least you know now how far you can jump and how high you can jump. Progress on the track is going really well. We've worked on a whole nother section now, so all the way from up here, all the way down and round through this orange and red forest, and it's going really well. We've built in loads of jumps and structures, and this first pass has just been about ideas. It hasn't been about the detail. We're not finalizing detail. I am adding in a bit of detail to get an idea of what I'm doing, but mainly just trying to figure out what the track is going to actually be like when you run through it with the horse. So I've got jumps in place, I've got buildings and structures, but I haven't finished detailing all of them just yet. There are some really interesting sections on this part. There's a Tralk village up there where I can merge aspects of the Tralk village with the track. I'm going to build a witch's hut over on the corner there. There's a watery section. There are jumps that I've marked in. There's this spooky mansion, which is a spiral staircase. And there's this bridge. And of course, you'll have just seen in the time lapse, there is the underground section where you've got all of these pathways. They're a bit like reverse hole in the wall because you're the thing moving. And yeah, you basically choose your path. Do you want to fly through the sides or jump over? And then we've got to look at the desert, and I've got to start adding elements to the desert to make it more interesting. Some of the desert I might leave flat, but most of it I'll probably be adding like ruined structures or ditches or bits to jump over. I want to be able to test your control of the horse, so some bits might even require you to go slow, and then other bits you'll need to do big, huge jumps, and yeah, should just be absolutely awesome. So let's jump into time lapses of the desert now. The track's outline's complete, and now I've managed to mark out where every jump and obstacle is going to go, and all I have to do now is detail everything. Detailing the whole track is going to be a mammoth task, so I'm not going to show everything. I'm going to focus on a few time lapses of the most interesting areas, for example, like this raised platform part. Once I've done a few time lapses of that, it will be time to do a bit of a surprise reveal, and then after we've revealed the surprise, I'll be going into those flyover shots that I usually do, and then it will be time to race the track at the end. Just before I get into the time lapses quickly though, I have been working off camera on my block palettes for my track. So I think these are the two that I'm going to go with. This one is kind of similar to the marble and the chalk, although these blocks are limestone, quartzite and gravel and stones, so they won't look exactly the same, so it should differentiate the track from the cliffs around it. I think all I have to do now is start playing around with putting this on a larger scale all over the track and see if I like it. And if I do, then you'll see that in these detailed time lapses. And yeah, now I think it's just time to move on to those and get working on all those little details that are really going to bring this track to life. Earlier in the video, I said that I had a surprise reveal, so now is the time for that reveal, before we get into the flyover clips and the final race. For a while now, Lorelei has been featuring in my videos to help me with time lapses, but I think we need an extra pair of hands. So I want to introduce to you today the newest member of our crew. This is Orland. Unfortunately, Lorelei is not that good at horse racing. She has many other talents, but not really horse racing, so Orland is here to be competitive with me in the race. Now that you've been introduced, let's get on with those flyover clips. At the end of my videos, I normally do a walking tour, but this time I'm going to do a racing tour. And I don't think I could really call this a big racetrack video if I didn't actually race the track, so let's do that now. Are you guys ready? Okay, good stuff. I'm ready as well, so I think it's time I started the countdown. On your marks, get set, go. And they're off. Here we go. Everyone's racing off to the first bridge. And we're crossing all the bridge roughly together. Got to watch out for the stamina for this jump. Make sure you've got enough. Everyone's made the first jump, which is good. Though Lorelei is kind of stuck over on the side. Big jump here, and we've made it. Time for me and Orland to go head to head as we go over these hurdles in the first third of the track. Now we get to the medieval ruins, and we jump over here, ready to go to the nice chicane part. We jump over here, big jumps here. Turn with the horse, full turn, and then around again. And this bit, we try and aim for the middle bit and just jump over that. We get a nice good lead. Oh, but we've instantly lost it. Orland is back over. Not managing my sprint very well. Here we go. You don't sprint for this jump. It makes it easy if you do it without sprint. And then this one, it's easier to not sprint here so you don't run into the walls of this slalom. And then for this bridge, you want to go flat out as fast as you can to jump over the broken pieces and land on the track again. We've got a nice flat area here with some nice trees and flags, and then it's the water part. And for the water part, you want to try and land on the wooden block so you spend less time in the water, slowing you down. Here we go. Me and Orland are still neck and neck, and it's time for a hurdle now. So we jump over the hurdle, and then it's time for the trickiest jump with a big sprint jump, and then it's time to look in the witch's hut, and then it's another big jump. Oh, I've just failed the jump. Put me behind a little bit, but we can catch up. So now we enter the spooky mansion, and we go for a downward spiral to the right. This is all about control and technical skill for turning on the horse. Try not to bash your head at the end, and then it's time to go over the dilapidated bridge. Once we get over the dilapidated bridge, it's time to go for the underground mine area. And you pick a path and you jump through it. And there we go. Got to make sure we recharge some stamina, and then we get to the desert. And in the desert, we are meted by a hurdle. So we jump over that, and then we go under the next bit, and we check, and we're still ahead. Then there's a big sprint jump here. Don't fall down that pit or you get hit by skeletons. And now it's time for the hardest parts. Here we go. Big jump, big jump, big jump, big jump. And we're going to land here at the end. And then it's time to do the fences. The fences are kind of tricky, but if you jump over them like this, then you can just about do it. And we're still ahead of Orland as we go up the stairs to the sand structures. And here, you've got to dodge the big holes and jump over the areas with the big jumps where the bridges are missing. And then big jump here in the middle. Don't fail that one or it'll cost you a lot of time. And then we do the final jump and we're over to the end of this area. We head down the stairs and we've still got a lead, but not by much. Got to make sure we're being careful with the sprint. And then we get to the hardest parts. Pick one of the middle blocks, try and jump off it. And, oh, I failed. But here we go. Now it's the hard jumps here at the end. This is all about timing and making sure that... Oh, no, I've missed it. Here we go. How has Orland done? Oh, Orland's nearly done it, but he's just failed on the last jump. So we're still ahead. And we're racing now for the finish. And it's going to be a nice win for me. Good race, Orland. And we'll catch up again when Lorelei finishes in a minute. And here's Lorelei at the end of the race, just a short while after us, finishing up on her horse. Lorelei, how was the race? No? Oh. Oh, no. Okay. Well, it was a good effort. It's all right. We warned everyone that you'd be bad at racing, so I think it's okay. This has been a brilliant project to work on, and over the last week, I've had so much fun building all the different sections of the track, and we've had even more fun racing it all together. We've also gained a new member of the team this video, and Orland will be joining us from time to time whenever we need an extra pair of hands. So welcome, Orland. If you're thinking about buying Hytale and you want to support the channel, then you can use my creator code at checkout. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me for another video soon.